Okay, so welcome to the free intro webinar for Soul Contract Training Level 3. The purpose of this is just to give you a feel for the training and to ask any questions and play a bit. I think you've got a case study, haven't you, Alexi?
Yeah, I think I sent you something, yeah.
Yeah, did you email it to me or?
I emailed it to you, yes.
I'll have to have a look for that a little bit later. So, okay, so first off, if you could just introduce yourself a little bit about, why you've got to this. You've come to the webinar, and it sort of sets the energy. And seeing there's only two of you, we can actually really play with it. Okay, so maybe Judy, you want to go first? What you'd like from this?
What would I like from this? Oh,
within reason.
Within reason. I was going to say the answer to the universe, right? So yeah, level 3 is about business. I lead an entrepreneur group. I know the interactions with people are very important, even within businesses. So, and especially in the relationship with money scenario, how that plays out in relation to business, I find interesting. So yeah, when you say final transmission, I'm curious what that means as well. Yeah. So yeah, I'd like to get an overview and some hints on how it works, and test out some business names of my own.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Okay, Alexi?
Yeah, so I had this level 3 training about 2 years ago, and yeah, I just felt like, well, I miss Nicholas, so it's been a while since I saw Nicholas, but also I felt like it's time for a mini kind of reminder, because I'm a bit isolated. I use it to research headings and stuff, but I guess I feel a bit isolated with not connecting with other people who do this work. And I actually won't be able to make it to this particular workshop, but I wanted the refresher for a while, so maybe I'll make it to the next one as well.
Yeah, you can repeat this one. There's a much lower fee if you want to come to it. There's also the Soul Contract Reading Facebook group, Alexi, if you want to stay connected to the other practitioners. Yeah.
I think I'm in it. Yeah, I think I'm in it.
Yeah, so there's a lot of conversation happens there. It's very busy. So
cool.
Okay. All right, so let's get started. So let's talk about what level 3 is about. When I first learned this training from Frank, it was over a week, and it was sporadic bits and pieces. And all these different components of level 1, 2, and 3 that you now receive were just little seeds. As Almira and I developed the Soul Contract Reading training, we realized that it needed to be split into 3 levels because people weren't getting overlays or business names at all. And we did a whole thing in 4 days originally, and it was going over people's heads because we figured out that people needed to integrate each level and go and use it for a while. And we also figured out that 3 transmissions were needed, and 3 is a magic number to fully get a system. And once we started teaching it in 3 levels, people were getting it much better. The practitioners were going very deep in level 1, deep in level 2, and deep in level 3, and could actually use it. And because there's 3 distinct transmissions that are required. And in level 1, you get the first 22 letters activated for birth charts, and as long as you practice it, it gets up and running, and people can deliver pretty good readings. Because the way we teach it now, with a clear 3-day transmission and a 2-day process of learning how to deliver readings. Level 2 is the next transmission that reinforces and enhances level 1. And level 3 is the final transmission. And what we discovered is that once people hit the 3rd transmission of the training, they become the work, provided they obviously use it. And people say to me, like, I don't need the manual anymore, Nicholas. It's because it's got fully activated. It just comes to me. This is the guys who do use it a lot. So we call it the final transmission. So you can come to the training and you don't even have to use the work, the actual business work, but actually the transmission will really enhance level 1 and 2 enormously, birth chart and overlay readings, in terms of your access to the work. That seems to be the way the dynamic is of the energy functions, and we discovered that through trial and error. So this is much more than just business names. It's the completion of the transmission from level 1. So I'm just going to get the next page coming up. So what happens here is that you become that conscious embodiment of the work after the 3rd transmission, and your channel really opens to connect to the work, to your own higher self, and to the guides who carry this work, and sort of effectively reawakening the memory of it in your DNA. And so you've gone from all that learning and trying to absorb it and remember it to just becoming it. And so the result overall is just more profound readings, deeper readings for clients, really touching their soul at a deep level. That's the result of doing level 3. And what it will actually do practically as well is for clients who want to come for business readings, and there's two sort of markets here. There's the market of light workers or spiritual seekers who are wanting to get their gift out to the world, who are open to this work. All right. So, and then there's more people who are for small, medium businesses who are open to spirituality a bit. Okay. Started to do a bit of work on themselves. They hear about this, and they're looking for a better way because they might have reached a limit on how far they can expand the family business, okay, or whatever the business is, and they know there's got to be a better way than trying to work harder. And so the core idea here is that when you're working with a client on their business, is that the client and the business are one and the same energy. The business is an external hologram of their internal soul journey and how much they've actually burnt through the ego programming and their birth soul contract. And that's a limiting factor. And so business can be very left-brained, very much analytical and very process-based, and a lot of businesses are just focusing on making money. But actually what this work does is it allows you to have someone pull back from the grindstone or the hamster wheel, using another metaphor, of their business, and step back and take a look at the deeper purpose of their business. Well, what is the point of this business? Okay, rather than just making a living and paying the bills and the mortgage. So we teach you how to look at the bigger picture of their work and life so they can create a new order for themselves, so they can look at, well, what actually is important. And once they get a picture of where they want to go with that, it's like developing a new strategy of how to make that work. I had this experience going away on holiday in August. I had 2 weeks in France, not doing much, near the beach with Gabriel, my son. And I went through this process to step back and look at what have I been doing for 15 years with this business. And it's very refreshing, because it just cuts out all the minutiae and gets to what's important. So it basically helps someone realign with where they are in their life in that moment, and that changes, through time, and so that they can then adjust their business so it's in alignment with where their soul wants to take them, because they're living and expressing and experiencing their soul contract, their personal one, through their business. And the key thing here is that we're looking for alignment. That's a very important word with this training. We're looking how to see, is the person, your client, aligned with where they want to go truly in life personally, and is their business a reflection of that? Because if they're not, it's not going to work, which is why some businesses work really well and some don't. It's because it's lack of alignment. And so the individual has to be doing what they love doing, what is deep in them, what their real purpose is. And if the business reflects that, then the business will flourish, provided they obviously run the business properly and do all the right things marketing-wise and all the other things you've got to do in running a business. So it's a vehicle. Like the business is continuous workshop for their own personal journey. And within that business, we then look at, provided they're aligned, or you get them aligned, or teach you how to align them there. We then look at, well, what are the best business product and service and website names to maximize success? And it's not just money, it's actually more about, are they delivering their gift of service? Success is the maximum delivery of the gift of service, or whatever it is, for that individual owner or owners of the business. And the point of the optimizing these names is to attract the right market niche of people to that business. It's not about trying to market to everybody. That never works. It's about getting clear, well, who's their natural market niche, and what energy is required to draw them in and build trust so they'll engage. So this is the easier way of doing business, rather than having to have the I've been watching a lot of cable TV here, because we don't have that in England in the same way, and seeing the hard sell in America. So there's no need for the hard sell. It's about people just being naturally attracted if the energy is set up right. It's what I call fire and forget marketing, if you get the name right. They just come, they feel they can trust that business energy, and they'll engage. A lot less time required to acquire a customer, which is worth a lot to a business. So the other thing we can use it for is we can use it to enhance business relationships, because business is all about interpersonal relations, basically. And so this can be in a more spiritual business, or this can be more slightly 3D, where the owner is open to spiritual processes to a degree. We're finding this out in the management advisory service, which is really consultancy that I've set up with 3 other partners, called heartandbusiness.org. It's more for the more conventional corporate market who's a bit open to this. But you can do it in your spiritual business. So it's about, how do you fit the right person in for a specific position in the job, thinking in business terms. How do we enhance people's performance and job satisfaction? Because if people like what they're doing, they're going to stay longer. And you can have less turnover, which is worth a lot. And they're going to be happier, and they're going to contribute, and they're going to engage. There was a Gallup poll which discovered that 87% of people in the world are emotionally disconnected from their job in the Western world. To allow for the margin of error is pretty much everybody in the traffic jam. Not a good start. So they're not interested, basically. So if you're not interested, you're not going to engage, you're not going to deliver your gift, you're not going to make that business grow. So this is the opposite of that. This is about getting people to have 100% engagement. And so helping people who work for a business, finding out what do they love doing, and helping them, supporting them, so they can actually go and do that and contribute to the business and feel some satisfaction, so they can become the other 13%, who actually do emotionally engage, do love what they do. And it can help develop in plain English. We provide a plain English explanation of the interpretation without all the spiritual speak, so that a normal business owner can grasp exactly what we're talking about. So we translate it, bridge it into the 3D world. And we can develop optimal, customized people management strategies for individuals and for their entire teams based on their soul contracts. So rather than generic management approaches which don't work, each manager or an owner can actually customize it for their staff. So they play to their strengths, support them on their karmic issues, help them achieve their goals, help them manifest their soul destiny or life purpose. And in work, you can't ask for much more than that. It's a rarity to have that in a job. So we teach how that works. It's very good for conflict resolution in a team, because you'll see in the soul contract, well, what's creating the conflict, and you can go and rejig things and move them around, so you have a lot less conflict. And basically look at the business as a holistic being. It's not a separate thing trying to extract as much money out of society. It's an integral part of a unified whole. And looking at all what we call the stakeholders. There's clients, suppliers, business partners, and other relationships, and how to manage those relationships. So this is about teaching how you can do it for yourself, but also how to do it for clients as well. So that from the very beginning, they're off on a good start, and they're conscious of as much as possible of all the issues with the people in the business. Because it's the people which make your business or break it if you don't get it right. Okay. So essentially, we're talking about alignment. So this is a sort of diagram here. We're trying to get this whole thing, someone's birth name, their current or optimal name, which is the blue dotty guys, the legal name of the business, the trading names of the services of the business, websites, products. We're trying to get them all to converge and align to the soul destiny of the owner or owners. Okay, so that they contribute through their energy being out in the outer world to actually the owner achieving that soul destiny. And if that's happening, then the business is going to work reasonably well because it's in alignment with where the owner wants to go. Any questions on that so far?
When you say legal, that's the business name, like LLC, or is that
LLC, corporation, or whatever it is, limited company.
And trading name, what's that?
Right, it could be like Amazon Sal Limited Luxembourg. Okay, is like a legal name. A trading name is Amazon.com or Amazon.co.uk in their case. It's also their website name. Like Apple Corporation, you see, and trading name will be Apple.
Okay, so it's the more common name used.
Yeah, it's the client or customer-facing energy that is transmitted out to the world.
Okay.
You see, because you've got to get that right to attract them in, but they all have to be linked together. You see. So essentially, what we do is that I teach you how that works, how this whole different array of names actually works, because someone could already have a business and it's not working, and they can come to you if you're doing this work and say, Jody, why is that not working? And you discover in their trading name they have a 21-3, for example, which is doing it the hard way, which you know a lot about. And you say, well, this is the reason you're having a hard time, is because you got this need to, the business name is creating hardship, enduring and overcoming stuff, and teach you how that works. So essentially there are many layers of names. It's like the birth name, current or optimal name, legal, trading, website, plus products. And if they're all in alignment, then the business energy flows from the principle or principles of the business out into the world, and all these names and energies are just conduits for their soul energy to go out in the world and create a change or whatever they're here to do. See, and if it's in alignment with the soul destiny, then success in terms of delivering the gift, that'll happen. Okay, so it's all about alignment and understanding the dynamics between all these names here. And often people will come and they've got an idea, they want to start a business, and then I teach you how you actually look at all these different names, how to align it to their true path, to the optimal name, or most people don't have optimal names, so that's usually done first. And putting the legal, trading, and website names out there, which will achieve the goals of the business, depending on what they are, and they're going to be different for every individual. So you're creating an aligned vehicle energetically for them to carry out their soul destiny. It's essentially what you're doing with us. And if the business is already running, you're finding out where it's stuck. And so you can make little changes and tweaks to the way they're set up energetically so that the business can actually start to function better. So that's essentially what we're going to cover. We cover in 4 days in the course, and when we do this, and we go through all the core principles of it for the first few days, and then we get into practicing with business names that, of clients you have, or your own business names. And we usually come up with some really good ones in doing that, so someone can actually get their business out there. So if you get this energy right, it saves a huge amount of time and money in terms of launching in the future. Things will just happen. Like the Center for Conscious Ascension is built, it's business energy. Which I'll pull that up actually. Hang on. Pull that up for you. Show you how that works. We will call up another chart, give an example of it. A little drink here. So the center for conscious ascension, the energy here is the foundation. The foundation is the client-facing energy. Okay, the ability is what you deliver in the business to the client who is attracted by this foundation energy, and success will be a result of the delivery of those abilities. Okay? So the foundation for this business, Amir and I spend a lot of time. This is the third incarnation of the name. Is a 13th force, but unconditional love and sharing of that in the world. So people will feel less, and they trust the business immediately, and they just get drawn in without a lot of hard sell, a lot of marketing. We don't do any hard sell. We just share what we do, and if you're interested, come along. And so they're drawn in by this love, and this is aligned with the energy of where the human consciousness is going in terms of the alternative new age sort of field. And the ability is to give people structure and emotional support, the 11 and the 2, for growing spiritually. How do they move forward? I spend a lot of my time doing that. And then the result of that is that people's hearts will open. They'll open to connect with the world. And the business will build itself within 11.2, and it will build a big network of like-minded people, okay, that will work with it, which is what's happening, like with the soul contract software and with like the consulting, business consulting consultancy, which is just starting to get up and running. So this is designed very much to be very loving and heart-centered and very supportive of people. And because our focus here is on what we're here to really do, deliver this gift of bringing other light workers and spiritual seekers online, the money flows anyway. But the focus is not on X $1,000 or a year. It's on delivering a gift of service, and the money comes anyway. Money is secondary, whereas most businesses is focused on the bottom line. But what they've discovered is that businesses which is focused on maximizing return every quarter make a lot less money than businesses that focus on delivering service. It's actually proven. It's because the energy of greed with the money, which is the way the Western system is set up, actually is very low consciousness. Whereas someone's delivering their gift of service with love, that's much more conscious. And people are attracted to that, you see. But it's quite a hard paradigm to break. Okay, we're just here to make the money. It's very deeply ingrained. It's very much polluted and distorted our consciousness in life. So people are just there just to make the money, but at any cost, which is a pretty miserable existence, really. There's no joy in that. Whereas this is about living life and running a business with joy, doing what you love. This is what this work is about. So it can take a client out to the world, and they can really enjoy what they do. I mean, they have to work pretty hard at it, maybe, hopefully not too hard. And so that the business was a means of them getting their mission out there and making a difference in the world, especially for light workers, because we're all always seeking what is our real purpose, and we're getting it layer by layer, and how can I really get it out there? And so many of them are frustrated because they haven't got, well, the optimal name right, or they haven't cleared enough their own issues, which is important as well. But often, most importantly, they haven't actually got the right business name, and it's not doing what they think what they want it to do in terms of attracting the right people. Any questions on that? It's sort of a summary of the course, really.
Well, I hear there's certain number combinations you recommend staying away from. Wondering if you can speak a little bit on that.
Well, you don't want a 21-3 in the business, so that means doing it the hard way.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want 9s either, because that's going to be too powerful unless you're a high-powered business in a corporate world. Because you want to attract people in, you see. So you need attracting numbers, which is what this is all about here. Attracting supportive numbers that help people grow. That's actually a much better option, really.
What about 12-3? Is that a good combination in, say, foundation or talents or outcome?
It'll make you very busy. I made the mistake, a quite mistake of putting 12-3 in the title of my book, and it's been mad, crazy busy for 3 years. It's only just calming down this year. So busy, run off my feet, which has been good, but I wouldn't do it again. I'd have a 13-4 habit more graceful. So 12-3 means you're very busy. Okay, a lot of communication happening. So they do what they do to a human. They do the same thing to a business. The way the numbers work.
So is it busy good or busy not so good?
Well, busy to the point of burnout. That's what it actually created. So I don't recommend them there for that reason. Okay.
In any position?
If there's no choice, it's okay. If you have a communication business, a 12-3 you'd be okay. But I wouldn't put one in necessarily. It's better to put a 3 in rather than a 3-3 rather than a 12-3 for this sort of thing. So I've learned this the hard way a lot of it to see what actually happens.
Mm.
For example, I had a house. Mira and I lived in a house with 21-3 in foundation up until about 12 years. We were there about 12 years ago, and we had a really good little business running in London. We moved to this house, then it got really hard, and we had a lot less clients, a lot more expense, not even out of business, because the 21-3 of the house was making us have to endure a lot. There was continuous construction on the house, just one thing after another. Roof collapsed, all sorts of things like that. And once we understood that, that's how we learned this stuff, we decided to move out of the house, and after that, we moved to somewhere where the energy of the house is a lot better, because you can actually look at the first line of the address of a property, and that tells you the energy of what's in that house or what's in that business.
So in figuring out address, it's the first line, and then it's the number plus then the letters.
Yeah, it's the first line determines the energy of that property.
Mm.
Yeah.
And so you would come to one number combination.
Yeah, no, you've got all three of them here. You got foundation.
Oh, you do 3. Okay.
Foundation, abilities, and success.
Mm.
That's how you do it. So, Alexi, should we do a little example? I've got your email here. So should we?
Oh yeah. Yes, I was just about to paste it in the chat window. Yeah, that's the example.
Okay. All right, we got this here. Okay, so do you remember your birth name? The correct spelling of your birth name? Just have you got the chart there, or should I go and look for it?
Let me try and bring it up if I can.
Because it took us a little while to get it right, I remember.
Yes.
What I will do, I'll dig it up as well. Hang on. I had a quick look before, but I couldn't find it. So, because there were quite a few different charts. Yeah, I'll launch this here. Just get this chart up. Hang on.
Yeah, it's just that I switched to a different laptop and I don't have my links here.
Okay, so this is the correct one here, I think. Number 1.
Cool.
That's correct, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, that's my birth name. Yes, that's my birth name, Alexi Friedman, yeah?
Yeah, so let's use that, and I'll put it on the new software, and we'll go and take a look at this business name. Okay, so we'll put... And remind me of the lift shifts. How do what did we finally get down to?
Oof, I'm not sure I remember it, but because like the way it's spelled right now, it's ALEXI.
Okay.
So ALEXI. The last name is spelled like that. But the tricky part is that I remember you went with the Hebrew version of it. So it was something like ALC. it was like, just trying to remember, it was,
yeah, see, we got it here. Let's have a look. Yeah, we spent a lot of time on that, didn't we? So let me just have a look in here.
I think you have it in a different document.
Yeah, it's in another document here. Let's go and have a look. We did a lot of work on that. So
I'm excited.
so that was a summary there. This is more
I think
recent.
Alexei Lifshitz parents. If you open Alexei Lifshitz parents, that would have my name, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm looking for the most recent document here to find it for you. You know, this is like December 2013 here.
Jody, I was working with Nicholas for probably 3 years, like once in 2 weeks, a session once in 2 weeks on average.
Yeah, we were doing a lot.
Wow.
2, 3 years. Yeah.
A lot of work.
Nicholas just helped me heaps. Yeah.
Wow.
Here it is. Here it is. I found it.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the one here, isn't it? That one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I knew it was. This is the Hebrew.
That's the Hebrew. Yeah, that's the Hebrew spelling.
Yeah. So let's put that in here. Okay. What's your birth date?
Birthday 27 January 79.
Okay. And we'll put a consent and verbal consent, which is today, which is the 18th of the 10th. This is my favorite stuff to do because it gets things really out there. So overlays, and we are going to have off your email. So you're going to be Alexei Relationship Coach. Is that your brand name?
Well, it's something I'm thinking about.
Okay, let's give it a go, shall we? So we just click on.
I think really brand name from a marketing perspective should reflect the result that I want for my clients rather than who am I, because no one really cares who am I.
You've got to, it's got to be a verb.
Huh?
You need a verb. What's it going to do? But let's start with this, okay? So,
yeah.
So you think www.alexeirelationshipcoach.com. Okay, we can do that. I got it. So why don't we just see what that does first, okay? So
12-3, I'm going to burn out.
you will. I burnt out from the book. A couple of years after the book came out, I got burnt out. That's why I'd say don't use a 12-3. I can speak from hard experience.
Not good. Yeah.
Not good. Not a good idea. Very bad idea.
I thought because I have 12-3 in my soul destiny, in my birth name, it's kind of me, but that was a mistake.
Yeah, well, remember in your current name, we put the 13 force to chill you out. Has that worked?
It actually does. Funny enough, what I was doing at work, because it's so difficult, being in a corporate environment, doing software development, I would write down things that I want. For example, tasks that make me grow, little slogans like that. And I would research the energy of the slogans to come up with certain numbers that will affect me somehow. So, for example, that would cool me down. So it seems like this stuff works. I really see that this stuff is working.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk about your chart here. Okay. So the 19 is about holding space for others and being a pure service. So being a coach, this is a relationship coach, is it?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. And empowering them. Again, bring male, female energies into balance, which is always the issue in relationships. And then doing it from the heart and giving people a lot of structure. Okay, and expanding knowledge and being a teacher of it. Okay, so that's what the name is about. And this name here, the current name which we optimize, that's all about doing this with total love, taking people with a real exploration, being very versatile, serious empowerment, yeah? Okay, serious service, and taking them on a journey to feel their way through what they're here to do. Okay? The It's the Lexi relationship coach name. It needs to be a verb. You don't need Lexi in there because no one knows who you are. But,
Yes, I actually bought a domain. The other one was Healing Heartbreak, or also so it was Healing Heartbreak .space as a website. Not sure I'm gonna use it, but that was another attempt.
okay.
The reason I'm not sure from a marketing point of view, I'm addressing the problem. I'm not mentioning where do I want to take people, which is
that's the key
which
thing.
is less.
What's the result? You got to give them or tell them the result they're going to get
Exactly. Yes.
from your business.
So it's still, I'm still not sure about that. Yeah. We'll have to change.
I think you need to change it because this is telling you already this is not going to work because the foundation here is an 8, and the 8 is all about relating to others. It's not a particular. It's provided they find your business. Okay. Okay. I'm just going to cough. Just put on mute. Sorry, guys. Hang on. So you want an attracting energy out front, like 7s or 13 4s or 4s, so that people are attracted by the heart or by the unconditional love or by the flow of the 4. That's what you need out front in a business name, especially because it's a more spiritual alternative to a business that you've got. Okay, and I wouldn't have any 12-3s in here. It's just too in the burnout material. What that would actually do is that this will be about being a master teacher, which is it fits with this, being a master teacher, absorbing and expanding knowledge. One of them is plenty if you have to use that, but I wouldn't use it. I'd be looking at it for the 13-4 in your name up here. Okay, and I'd be looking for, I wouldn't have any 9s and maybe some 22 4s or 7s in this name. Okay, and maybe some 11 2s to give them structure. So I would, if it's relationships, something like a 13-4, maybe a 7, or maybe 8s, so people can get grounded into their feelings, and maybe an 11-2 and success because you're going to give them support and structure. Because I mean, the most important things in life are birth, okay, relationships, and death. And the other 3 things that no one tells you about, you have to find out the hard way. Okay, no one prepares you, not in the Western world anyway. So you're doing the bit in the middle, which is very critical. You see, everyone's always got questions about, well, how does that work? And everyone finds out by trial and error, really. So I would say, think about a verb, okay? Think about what you're going to do. The word relationship is important. And think about what sort of thing you're going to deliver as a result. Like my business name is Center for Conscious Ascension. So it tells you there's a center, which is an energy, and you're going to consciously ascend by working with me, which is what I deliver. So think about, well, what are you going to deliver? What is the tangible outcome, which is what you already picked up on, that you're going to deliver in this business? And that's your first piece of marketing is your name. And then you say, by the way, my name's Alexi who runs it. I said, okay, that's fine. But I like what you delivered to me, Alexi, so give it to me. And so they're already in the door just by looking at the name.
I have a feeling when I'll be working with people, I will be using more like down-to-earth terms and words. Like I won't be speaking about ascension and stuff like that. That's why I like the idea of 8-8, because it's the ability to relate to anyone. I can hold it in my energy, the soul contract and all the high consciousness stuff, but I can speak as if it's just kind of a sort of a 3D coaching.
Yeah, well, think about maybe a 16-7 then in foundation if you want to address that market, because that's taking turning the high level spiritual speak which you've got into plain English for people.
Great.
If you're drawn to that, then think about a foundation of 16-7. Okay.
Great.
So you set that as your priority in physical karma, in foundation, and then get them in the door. Okay.
Great.
And maybe 16-7, maybe 8s, maybe 13-4, some combination of that. Either way around. This could be in either position. You can swap these 2 rounds: foundation, ability, success. I say groundedness into feeling. So I do something like that. And grounding is important because you've got a lot of real high frequency numbers in your chart here, this 4 and the 6s are grounded, but I think you need to have it grounded in the business name so people can relate to what you're on about. I mean, this is already indicating an 8's important. So your first shot at it when you do this tells you some of the numbers. Because if you're in the zone, different numbers will keep turning up. So I think an 8 or 17-8 is the other way of doing it. Some combination of that in there will be about right, but I wouldn't have that up front. This one or this one up front, and then the 8, 17-8, and the other one in the background to deliver the gift and to create the success of delivering that gift. Okay?
Cool.
How's that sound?
It sounds great. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You've got to go off and do a bit of work on that, but this narrows it down to what's important when you're doing this, and think clearly about the niche of people you're addressing. Are they more 3D people? Are they sort of a bit open to alternatives, or are they really into tantra, or what's it going to be, or all of them?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. You know, the thing that I found is that a lot of people, they are open to higher consciousness energies, but then they are not necessarily interested in hearing about that or hearing any framework that kind of talks about those energies. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So people can be very, very conscious in some ways, but they're not necessarily interested in talking about karma or past lives or even soul contract, or they're not into woo-woo stuff. They're more practical, grounded.
Yeah. Then you got to adjust your name energies to reach those guys.
Yeah, and I just I invested all my savings into a relationship coaching program, and they just say it as is. So they are very conscious. They actually have this conscious dating program that they teach, but they don't speak about, you know, karma or things like that. Nothing like that. And for some reason, I feel like that's the way to go when I kind of try to attract clients.
Yeah, I think when you're setting up a business like this, it's about, you've got to do some try it out and see what you love doing the most and who loves engaging with you the most. My niche of people is guys like you who are totally committed, will do whatever it takes to come online and deliver your
yeah.
So I stick with that. Okay. I tried, you know, with the consultancy to be, you know, client facing and working with clients, but I found I actually didn't like that so much because I wasn't prepared to do the 16/7 turn into plain English, whereas the other partners in the consultancy are brilliant at that. So I let them get on with it. And I supply the subcontract technology and the expertise, which will be the underlying structure to them doing this sort of work out in the corporate world. That's how we work now. But you have to go and try it out, suck it and see, as we say in Australasia, and see what happens. You won't know till you try it out what you actually like doing. And then the niche of people you like will coalesce and you realize, oh, they are my people and here's their language and now I know what to do. Then you go and get on with it and you build your business around that. So, but, you know, get the right sort of name first. You get a bit of an idea what you want. You've described it quite well there. And then you can start to address these guys. So it's all about the specific niche. It's not about shotgun approach trying to address everyone because we're scared we won't get anyone to come. That is a waste of time because that means no one gets the message because you're not focused enough on the right people. You see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're getting there. Just gotta. This is going to cut out 80% of your time being wasted because now you know you're going to get down to what's important.
Yeah, thanks for the advice on 16/7 or 8/8.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I do. Any further questions on that? Is that enough to go and play with now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Jody, any questions on that? Because you haven't been exposed to this in quite the same way before. So, because Alexi's done the course before. So.
Yeah. Well, as far as his chart goes, so you're saying 16/7 is about speaking in plain English, like just simplifying things to a point that people understand. That's why they're attracted. Is that?
Yeah, because see, Alexi's got a lot of high frequency numbers here, all over the place. High godlike energies, But he's trying to address a market where plain English is required, so the 16.7, the 16, bridge all that high frequency energy into plain English to be shared from the heart. Okay, this high frequency will be accessible to people. Okay, because that's the market he's looking to address. Okay, he's very drawn to that. You see.
Yeah.
So it all depends on who you are, and who you're trying to address, and you're trying to connect your energies across from here into here. Because you need to have a 13.4 in here somewhere, at least I'd say, because to match up with this name. Okay.
So you have to have at least one symbol from your birth name and current name, or?
Well, either one, but probably from either one will work fine. Either one will work fine, as long as there's a connection, because it's a resonant frequency. Basically allows you to carry out what the new optimal name in Alexia's case is actually doing in the world, create love from the heart. Okay, and therefore it's resonant in the business. Your energy is going to flow into the business because it's an exact match.
And if and it doesn't matter the position.
No, it doesn't matter, as long as you got one.
Yeah.
As long as you got one.
And the more similarity of the symbols to your birth chart or your current name, the better, or not? Just it doesn't matter.
The tighter the tighter the alignment will be. If you have three of these turning up in these names here, that means it's really aligned. Okay, it's not critical, but it means it's even more aligned. More of you in the hologram of your business is helping you personally work it through. Okay, so it's one and the same thing ultimately. So
yeah.
Okay.
I'm curious more because I have some business names, and I don't know how much it is my own dealing with my own stuff, versus the business name necessarily.
Well, it's one and the same thing, really. Whereas the business will throw up issues which are inside you, so you need to go and address the issue personally inside you. Say, for example, someone's not paying you, okay, or you haven't paid someone else, and at some level you've been unconscious on that. What happens then is that someone won't pay you in the business until you recognize, in me, I haven't paid someone. The same issues will come in the outer world as to deal with what's going on in your inner world. So what will happen? Okay. So the business is a hologram. It's your learning. It's your workshop for your own personal growth. That's the way businesses tend to work. If you're working with them consciously.
One of my business names has a 9 in it, so.
Not a good idea, because it's going to scare people away. You've got a dragon in the business.
But people really like the name, which is.
Do they come and do business with you?
I haven't been promoting it much because I'm doing with other things. So, yeah. But whenever I do put it out, people seem to like it.
Yeah, well, the test is to see, will they actually come and engage and actually hire you for that service or that product or whatever. It's not a good idea to have 9s in the business name unless it's a high-powered consultancy where power is needed. Clients only understand power. Anything else, I'd avoid it. Mary and I put 9s in the previous name to the extension of Conscious Ascension called the School of Conscious Ascension. And that scared everyone away because there's a dragon at the door. That's how we discovered this doesn't work. Okay, it doesn't work. It's
hard because I have the LLC. I have all the printed banners and logos and website.
It could be a disaster. Just a warning. It could be a complete disaster. It's better to cut your losses early. Okay, and start with an optimal name than to start something which if you're going in knowing it's too strong, that could mean a lot of hard work for a very long time. Sounds like your 21-3s in action here.
Yeah, it's interesting because the purpose for the business is the ideas of it have changed, but one idea was to work with higher level people because they have influence on the rest of the world, with their money and power positions. So
The thing is that the point of the business name is to attract people and to engage and buy your services and to get the gift. You catalyze people through the energies in your own name. Once they've engaged with you, once they're contracted, you don't want to scare them away from even coming in the door, which is what a 9 in a business name will do. Yeah, it's a no-no from a lot of hard experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Alrighty, so just close this up. Hang on. So just to finish, unless you've got any further questions, we'll just finish this off now. So just to finish off, people, if you're inspired by this work and want to register, just go to soulcontractreading.com and click on level 3 on the horizontal menu at the top. The dates for the next annual training are the 29th of October to the 1st of November 2016. The deposit to reserve your place is £124 or $154 or the full exchange is £508 and the equivalent American is 65. If you have any further questions, just email me at nicholasdirect3@centreforconsciousascension.net and be happy to help you.